In today's video, Bitcoin broke out yesterday from the ascending triangle to the downside. I want to talk about what I expect is going to happen in the Bitcoin price in the near future. And I as well want to talk about the levels that I am watching to determine if Bitcoin is in a bigger retracement or we just taking a breather here before we are continuing the uptrend. Then guys, we have some bullish news from the futures markets. And there are 50 Bitcoins which were mined in 2009 that were transferred to another wallet address. And that's quite extraordinary because we are not seeing that often that Bitcoins that are mined in the early years are getting transferred right now 11 years later. So guys, all about that in today's video. With that being said, my name is Jeroen, this is the Blockchain Today, the channel where you subscribe for daily crypto videos. And right now, let's jump into the content. When we have a look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, then we can see that we are still trading in this upwards channel. But if we have a look at the highs on the daily time frame, then you can see that we are actually still in a downtrend, because the high that we created over the past couple of weeks is still lower than the previous high we have created right here at approximately 10,500. So I think that is important to notice. If we bring up the moving averages, then we can see that we have formed the bullish cross on the daily time frame. The 50-day moving average is going above the 200-day moving average, and that is generally well known as a bullish sign. Although if we have a look at the previous golden cross, then that was almost exactly predicting the top of the previous high, and afterwards we saw a reversal and we saw this huge sell-off. So that's important to notice. Technically we are still in a downtrend because we have formed a lower high right here on the daily time frame. It would be nice to see if the price can get above 10,500. And if we zoom in on the shorter term time frame, this is the 4-hourly, then yeah, we were forming a ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern, but eventually we broke out to the downside yesterday. And we got some signs that Bitcoin was breaking out to the downside. However, I thought the chances were higher of Bitcoin breaking out to the upside due to the fact a ascending triangle is a bullish pattern, and we entered it as well from a uptrend. And most of the time the horizontal part of a triangle is the level that we are going to break, because that is the level that is being tested over and over again. But yeah, in this specific pattern we broke out to the downside, and the signal that we got beforehand was the bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. We are making a higher high in the price, and in the RSI we are creating a lower high. That is a bearish divergence, which is telling us that the bearish momentum might step in the price of Bitcoin, and it did. We had a drop right here, but the support came back in right here and could held for a couple more candles until we broke below it. And when we have a look at the 1-hour time frame, then we can see the amount of volume that came along with this move, and there's actually quite some volume, right? And that is telling us that most likely we are going to see some form of continuation of this sell-off. So we could see something like this. We have a sell-off, we have some consolidation in a upwards channel, a bear flag pattern, and eventually we are breaking the support right there, and we are seeing a continuation of this sell-off. We are seeing another sell-off right here, and that is also quite logical. We might test the support right here, the support of this upwards channel, and the support of this upwards channel is right now at approximately 9,100. And it's going to be very interesting to see how is Bitcoin going to react when we reach this support level. Are we going to see a nice bounce off of it, or is it actually possible that we are going to break the support? And if that were to be the case, if we break this uptrending support, then I think we could see some bigger retracement in the price of Bitcoin. But as long we are still holding the support, and as long we are still trading in this upwards channel, I expect Bitcoin to be in a uptrend. And if we have a look at the CME futures chart, then we can see that we have filled the complete gap below us. And that can be a good sign, right? Because that means that there is no gap below us where Bitcoin has to come down to fill that gap. Because yeah, those gaps are most of the times getting filled. Right here as well, right? We are having a gap, and quite quickly afterwards the gap is filled. And the gaps are formed over the weekend because the Bitcoin market is a 24/7 market and the Bitcoin CME futures market is not trading in the weekend. So that means that there is a price difference after the weekend with the real Bitcoin market and the CME futures market, and that is creating those gaps. And the remarkable part is every time we are seeing one of these gaps, quite quickly afterwards these gaps are getting filled. And that means that the price is coming back to the point where the gap opens. So in this case, that would be right there. And in this case, that would be right there. Then one other thing that slightly concerns me, that is the hash rate of Bitcoin. Because we see a continuation of this downtrend in the hash rate. And we are right now almost 40% down from the all-time high right here. And it is logical as well because after the halving, the block reward is getting cut in half, which means that the earnings of the miners are being cut in half as well. But right now we are 40% off the all-time highs, which is actually quite a lot. And if we have a look at the hash ribbons, then it looks like we might get an inversion of the hash ribbons in the coming days. And guys, normally when we are seeing a inversion of the hash ribbon, that is actually a very bearish sign. So right here we have seen a inversion, but that was right after this huge drop right here. Here we have seen an inversion as well. That was also right after this huge drop. And the time before that, we were seeing it actually the other way around. We first saw an inversion in the hash ribbon, and afterwards we saw the price of Bitcoin just plummet. And guys, these are different scenarios because right now the block reward of Bitcoin is getting cut in half, so Bitcoin is more scarce. But that also means that miners have less Bitcoin to sell. So the selling pressure from the miners has also been cut in half. And that is the new selling pressure of the miners. If they have a HODL position that they are selling, that is something different. But you do understand what I mean, right? When you mine Bitcoin, you get a block reward, and those block rewards are getting cut in half. That means that less Bitcoins is coming in the hands of the miners, which means they can cause less sell pressure as well. But we need to take that in mind. If we are going to see some minus capitulation right here, it is possible that we are going to experience some extra sell pressure on the price of Bitcoin. But for now, I'm watching the support of this upwards channel right here. If we are breaking that support decisively, yeah, I definitely think Bitcoin could be in for a bigger retracement from this upwards move. But as long this line is holding support, I expect Bitcoin to continue trading in this rising channel. Then guys, we have some bullish news from the future markets. And here we can see the data shows the Bitcoin options market is tilted towards the bulls. According to data from Econometrics, the CME Bitcoin options exchange recorded 22 calls for every one put. In simple terms, for every 22 people that bought Bitcoin, one person sold. So that shows us that the participants in the futures market right now are definitely bullish on Bitcoin. And if we have a look at the open interest on the CME Bitcoin futures, then we can see it as well reached a new all-time high. So this is quite bullish, guys. This is showing us that more and more people starting to get interested in Bitcoin. However, guys, I do have to say that this is a futures market which is cash settled. So these contracts are not backed by Bitcoin. So this liquidity is not flowing into Bitcoin. However, it does show that the interest in people speculating and trading Bitcoin is increasing. And the participants in these markets are not the average holders we are knowing from the crypto space. No, these are real speculators, most of the times institutions or very wealthy individuals who want to speculate on the price of Bitcoin, but they want to do that in a regulatory environment. And that is the reason they are trading the CME Bitcoin futures. And there is as well a Bitcoin futures market which are backed by real Bitcoin. And yeah, that is done by the company Backed. Then guys, let's have a quick talk about what happened yesterday. Because yesterday a total amount of 50 Bitcoin got sent from a wallet that hasn't been active for 11 years. And that was a wallet from 2009. And the coins that were inside that wallet, those were coins that were mined. And some people are speculating that that is Satoshi Nakamoto who is owning this wallet. However, there is not evidence from that Satoshi Nakamoto is actually owning this wallet. But there is of course a chance that it is Satoshi Nakamoto because there were not many people mining Bitcoin in 2009. and why now we are seeing a transfer of 50 Bitcoin from a inactive address who was inactive for 11 years. Well, if we have a look at this specific Bitcoin address, then we can see that it is used in a court case of crack write. I thought this was important to mention as it is quite extraordinary and we are not seeing it quite often that coins that were mined in those early days are being moved right now 11 years ago. So I thought this was worth mentioning, and guys, let me know what you think. What do you think these coins are? Do you think these coins are from Satoshi Nakamoto, or these coins could be from Crackwrite or from another Bitcoin miner who was mining Bitcoin in the early years? And guys, if you have any idea what happened here or you want to share your thoughts, please let me know in the comment section down below. But okay guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If so, please leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then please do so. I'm uploading every day a new crypto video. And if you want to learn how to trade Bitcoin, you can watch one of my tutorials. And I will see you all tomorrow. And don't forget to HODL.